First canto, chapter number 14. The disappearance of Lord Krishna, text number 37. Ooh, Krishna. We'll be chanting Sanskrit. You can follow along and chant with us. Yat Pada Shushushana Mukya Karmana Satyadayo Tvasta Sahasra Yoshita Nirjitya Sankye Three Dashams Tadashisho Haranti Vajrayuda Valabhojita Yatpada Sushushana Mukya Karamam Satyadayo Jwasta Sahasya Yoshita Nijitya Sankye Tridasham Asisho Haranti Vajrayuda Valabhojita Yat Pada Shushushana Mukya Karamam Satyadayo Drasta Sahasya Yoshita Nirjitya Sankye Tridasham Tad Ashisho Haranti Vajrayuda Valabhojita. Anyone else? Yat. Whose. Pada. Feet. Sushushana. Administration of comforts. Mukya, the most important. Karmana, by the acts of. Satya Adaya, queens headed by Satyabhama. Dvishta, twice eight. Sahasra, thousand. Yoshita, the fair sex. Nijitya, by subduing. Sankye, in the battle. Tridashan, of the denizens of heaven. Tat Ashisha, what is enjoyed by the demigods. Haranti, do take away. Raja Ayuda, the wives of the personality who controls the thunderbolt. Uchita, deserving. Translation. This is Maharaj Yudhisthira speaking to who? Anybody know? Does anybody remember? Arjuna. He's speaking to Arjuna, asking him different questions and remembering the possibility, asking him different questions about the problems within the problems he's observing in the atmosphere, and he's trying to discern what is the cause of that. So he's asked a lot of questions about different devotees, different family members, and he's kind of trying to also find out if this could have been caused by the disappearance of Lord Krishna, who blessed the earth 5,000 years ago. So he's remembering all these things, and he's asking Arjuna in this nice conversation. So the translation is, simply by administering comforts at the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the most important of all services, the queens at Dwaraka, headed by Satyabhama, induced the Lord to conquer the demigods. Thus the queens enjoy things which are prerogatives of the wives of the controller of thunderbolts. Translation again, I'll say, you please repeat. Simply by administering comforts at the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the most important of all services, the queens at Dwaraka, headed by Satyabhama, induced the Lord to conquer the demigods. Thus the queens enjoy things which are prerogatives of the wives of the controller of thunderbolts. We'll read bits and pieces. We'll read the purport, but we'll read it in chunks. So just in case I get stuck with nothing to say, I can always go back to where I left off in the purport. Hare Krishna. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Satyabhama, one of the principal queens of Lord Shri Krishna at Dwaraka. After killing Narakasura, Lord Krishna visited the palace of Narakasura, accompanied by Satyabhama. He went to Indraloka also with Satyabhama, and she was received by Sachi Devi, who introduced her to the mother of the demigods, Aditi. Aditi was very much pleased with Satyabhama, and she blessed her with the benediction. Sometimes women want this benediction. She blessed her with the benediction of permanent youth as long as Lord Krishna remained on the earth. Aditi also took her with her to show her the special prerogatives of the demigods in the heavenly planets. Om Jnana Timanandasya Giranjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagaramam Dhanati Swaparandigam. We were born in the darkness of ignorance, but our spiritual masters forced to open our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore we offer our most humble and respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Maum Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyani Pastyacha Satarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha Kalpatribhasya Kripa Sindhubhya So this is a very beautiful verse in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in which Yudhishthira, he's remembering how Krishna lived in Dwaraka. Now, one of the first things that he says here, I think is really important. We should try to meditate on this and try to understand it. He's saying that Krishna, living with his queens, became under their control. That he, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became under the control of his devotees. What was the key for becoming under the control of his devotees? In this verse, it's explained simply by administering comforts at the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the most important of all services. So we might be wondering, what does it mean to serve the lotus feet of Krishna? Can I ask anyone, what does it mean to serve the lotus feet of Krishna? Does anybody have a speculation, an answer?
I got some speculation on it.
Okay, what does it mean?
To meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, which that reminds us of our position as His servant.
Okay. Devananda is saying that to serve the lotus feet of the Lord means to meditate on our position as a servant. Srila Prabhupada explains that, and this was the best explanation that I ever heard, what it means to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. Means to serve Him exactly as He desires. Huh? To serve, that means so many opportunities are made available to us. Doesn't mean that we have to be doing the deity worship. It doesn't mean we even have to be meditating necessarily, at the lotus feet. But to try to understand how to please Krishna. That means that's somebody who's serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So exactly as He desires. So this is a key. This is a key for understanding how to engage in spiritual life. To really try to understand what is Krishna's desire. Now, we could say we can discover Krishna's desire by reading scripture, and of course that is there. Krishna explains His desires in the scriptures, right? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining, right? Manmana bhavamad bhakto, bhajaji mamnama. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer homage unto me. Way to please. Sarva dharman prachada. Krishna said, surrender unto me. But individually, we have to know, we have to be aware of what it means to serve Krishna exactly as He desires for us. We are all individuals, and we all have individual relationship with Krishna. We all have individual abilities. Krishna says, I have the ability of man. So the understanding that is real meditation. To understand how I can serve Krishna and how I can contribute to others serving Krishna. That's the mood of the spiritual world. So Satyabhama's father was Satyajit. Famous story in Krishna book, one of my favorite stories. Satyajit had this necklace called the Shamantaka jewel, and when he wore that necklace, he came into Dwaraka. This is 5,000 years ago. He came into Dwaraka, and that necklace had been a property of the sun god at one point. But anyway, he had attained this necklace, Shamantaka jewel, and when he came into the city of Dwaraka, it emanated such an effulgence that everyone thought the sun god has come himself. But no, when they said it was only Satyajit, and he decided, because he knew the secret of this jewel, that he was going to establish a temple to worship the Shamantaka jewel. And by doing that, he became very opulent. It said that the Shamantaka jewel produced 17 pounds of gold every day without fail. If you treated it right. So he established a temple for worshiping the Shamantaka jewel, and one day, and he became famous. Everyone, he was rich, he was beautiful from the effulgence of the jewel, and So one day his brother thought, let me take that jewel and I'll show off our opulence of our family. So he got on a horse, took the jewel, went out into the forest, and what happened was?
Got attacked by a lion.
Got attacked by a lion. And he was killed. And then while he was killed, the jewel was kind of there, and Jambavan, who's still living, was still living. He's from the Ramayana, right? Jambavan, he's the bear chieftain of the warriors of Ram. He picked it up and said, "That was good. That's a nice toy." And he gave it to his child. And the child was playing with it in the cave. So back at the farm, Satyajit was wondering, where did my brother go? What happened to the jewel? And he started speculating. He speculated. Because actually before that, when he first came in with the jewel, Krishna had suggested to him, you should give this jewel to King Ugrasena. Everything good should be given to the leader, the leader of the society. So it's just in passing. So he started speculating, I think maybe Krishna stole this jewel. Okay? So he went out into the forest. Actually, no. So then he started spreading the rumor. He started spreading the rumor that Krishna, see, even Krishna gets rumored, that Krishna had taken the jewel and killed his brother or something. He didn't know. He was speculating. So Krishna, this was interesting, because Krishna became concerned that he was being defamed. One time I asked a big Swami that came here, one time I asked him, so what do we do if we're being defamed, Should we defend ourselves? Or should we just accept it as Krishna's mercy? And then he gave me some answer. I said, well, what about when Krishna got defamed? What Krishna did is he actually took action. He went with his soldiers, or he went, a couple of them, and he went off to try to trace the steps of, what was his name? Prashena? Yeah, who had his brother, Satyajit's brother, who took the jewel, and he went a little ways, he saw a dead, he saw him, right? He saw Prashena dead, and he was like, oh my God. And then a little further, he saw a dead lion, right? Because Jambavan actually killed the lion to take the jewel. So then he went further, and he went into the cave where Jambavan's little child was playing with the jewel, and Krishna was amazed, and he was just about to, maybe ask him to, or he was just trying to figure out the situation. At that time, Jambavan came, and Jambavan, what is this intruder? And he said, you come to take the jewel. What are you doing here? And they started to fight with Krishna, and the fight went on and on. And Jambavan was the strongest. He was the strongest person on the planet at that time. So he fought with Krishna. Day one. What happened? Nothing. Krishna wasn't budging, and Jambavan. Day 2, day 3. Went for 28 days. And finally, at the end of 28 days, Jambavan had a realization. I'm the strongest person, but this person's stronger than me. Maybe this is my Lord. Because he was a great devotee of Lord Ram. Maybe this is my Lord. And he surrendered. And he surrendered to Krishna. And said, okay, what are you here for? I came to bring the jewel back. I'm being, Krishna told him the whole story. So he took the jewel back, and Jambavan was so pleased with that he had met his Lord again in the form of Krishna, Lord Ram, in previous time. He decided not only to give him the jewel, but he offered his daughter in marriage, and his daughter's name was Jambavati, right? It was Jambavan and Jambavati. He offered his daughter in marriage to Krishna, and Krishna left the cave with the jewel and a new queen. It was second queen. First queen was Rupi. So he brought the jewel back. He cleared his name to Satyajit, and Satyajit was kind of apologetic. He was feeling bad. And And Krishna said, "Here, I have no use for this jewel. You take it back." And this jewel had the power not only of producing gold, but it had a way of making everything auspicious. Nobody got sick. If the jewel was in the city, nobody got sick, nobody got old, nobody got, like that. The weather was always good. So Satyajit, again, installed the jewel. And he was so happy to get the jewel, and kind of felt bad, that he offered his daughter in marriage to Krishna, and his daughter Satyabhama. And she was so beautiful, so qualified, and from such a great wealthy family. So it's explained later on, so we'll kind of touch on the story in the shlok. It's explained later on that one time Narada Muni went to the heavenly planets. Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana Namani. He can travel anywhere. He's eternal spaceman. He went to the heavenly planets. He went to Indraloka, and he brought back a flower. He brought back a flower and gave it to Rukmini, Krishna's first queen. And Rukmini was amazed. The scent and shape of that flower at that time. It was only available in the heavenly planets. It was, as it says here in the verse, it was a prerogative of the demigods, right? And she was so happy. And of course, Krishna had a few queens at that time. Not all of them were there yet. But anyway, Satyabhama saw Rukmini with this flower, and she, Prabhupada says in Krishna book, she developed an inferiority complex. She developed an inferiority complex. In other words, she became a little jealous of that, and so then this purport is explaining how Krishna actually. This is not actually in chronological order exactly, but so at a certain point, Krishna had defeated this demon, Narakasura. And Narakasura had not only, as he's the famous demon who kidnapped so many beautiful princes and locked them up in caves, but he also had taken the earrings of Aditi, the umbrella of Vamana, and some other things, and stolen them. So when Krishna went on his mission, this military mission to conquer Narakasura, he brought Satyabhama with her on the back of Garuda. Krishna tries to accomplish many things at one time. So he brought her, and so he went to there, and he got not only did he liberate the girls, but he got the earrings of Aditi and the umbrella of Vamana and some other things. And so then Krishna got him, so what's he going to do with him? So Krishna brought him back he went to the heavenly planets, and this is what's being explained here. He went to Indraloka with Satyabhama, had brought the earrings, he gave them to Aditi, he brought all the stuff that belonged to the heavenly kingdom, and when Satyabhama was there, she saw, because Aditi was showing. Aditi being very pleased with Satyabhama, she showed her all the special prerogatives of the heaven of the demigods, what they enjoy. He took her to the gardens, and when she saw that flower on the tree, the Parijat flower that had been given by Narada Muni to Rukmini, she thought, this is my chance. So she was just about to pick a flower, and Krishna says, why pick a flower? You should pick the whole tree. Take the whole tree. Of course, she wanted it. So she plucked the tree, stuck it on the back of the Garuda. They got on their airplane, their Garuda airplane, and they started flying away. And of course, Indra and some of the other demigods, they started freaking out. You can't take this. On the one hand, and this is what's explained here in this verse, that on the one hand, Indra was so happy that Krishna had come and given her the earrings of the mother of the demigods, Aditi's earring, and given her all the possessions back that were stolen by Narakasura. On one minute, he was saying, thank you, Krishna, you're so great. Next minute, when the Parijata plant was taken by Satyabhama, suddenly Indra became very, very angry and possessive. And he declared war. There was like a battle between, that's why I said that the queens induced the Lord to conquer the demigods. So there was a fight, there was a battle between Krishna and Indra and other demigods. And of course, Prabhupada says in the Krishna book, of course Krishna came out victorious again. And so they brought the Parijat plant. Now it's explained somewhere, not necessarily, I couldn't actually find it, but it's explained somewhere that Krishna was so intelligent. So he planted the Parijat tree in the palace of Satyabhama, which happened to be next door to the palace of Rukmini. So he planted it in such a way that the flowers are dropping daily, not only in Satyabhama's hand, but there was a couple of branches hanging over Rukmini too. To Rukmini. So Krishna had to figure out ways to please all these wives, right? And of course, as Krishna eventually married 16,000 wives, in the beginning he was dealing with just 8. Krishna accepted Rukmini, then Jamavati, then Satyabhama, and then Mitravinda, and a few others, different ways that Krishna got those first 8 queens. And then he brought all the 16,000 queens back, and then he had to figure out a way to keep them all happy. And this was, of course, explained in the Bhagavatam, that Krishna, first of all, he arranged to build a palace for each and every one of them. When Prabhupada giving a lecture, he says, so you think that Krishna had to, would see one, and then next day see another, and 16,000 days later he would see the first one again? No. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he manifested himself. And this was experienced by Narada Muni. In Narada Muni's visit to Dwaraka, he went to see Krishna in the palace, and Krishna was there with his wife Rukmini, and Rukmini was offering chamra and massaging Krishna's feet and everything. And then when Narada Muni came in, Krishna got off the throne, put Narada on the throne.